In the radiant sunshine of Los Angeles, the gleaming windows of Beverly Hills mansions reflected the bright morning light. This exclusive neighborhood, synonymous with affluence and privilege, was an area where only those of certain status could wander freely without raising eyebrows. Yet on this particular morning, a woman dressed in unassuming attire, a simple gray hoodie and jeans, was walking along the immaculately maintained sidewalk, attracting subtle glances from passers-by. Margot Robbie, appearing nothing like the typical clientele in this opulent area, paused before an impressive contemporary residence. The glass-fronted structure offered clear visibility into its sophisticated interior, while perfectly manicured landscaping adorned the entrance. Taking a deep breath to compose herself, Margot approached the entrance where a real estate representative, elegantly attired in a tailored beige blazer and stilettos, observed her with a slightly elevated eyebrow. "Good morning. Are you here for the scheduled viewing?" the agent inquired, displaying a professional yet distant smile. Margot acknowledged with a nod, maintaining a neutral expression. "Yes, I'm interested in examining the property." The agent, whose golden name badge identified her as Camilla Brooks, hesitated momentarily, her gaze surveying Margot's casual outfit. Nothing about the loose-fitting hoodie or comfortable footwear suggested someone prepared to invest millions in real estate. With a slight tilt of her head, Camilla forced another smile. "Oh, how interesting. Well, we typically work with clients who are already familiar with this particular market segment." Margot detected the condescending undertone but maintained her composure. "Excellent. Then guiding me through the property should present no difficulties." Camilla paused briefly before turning to unlock the entrance, leading Margot inside. The interior proved even more impressive than its exterior suggested. White marble flooring contrasted elegantly with dark wooden staircases, while expansive glass walls provided panoramic views of the Los Angeles Hills Cape. The minimalist architectural approach blended sophistication with livability, creating an environment any high-end purchaser would desire. Margot moved deliberately through the space, examining every element with a discerning eye. "Are these finishing materials imported?" she inquired casually, running her fingertips across a sleek black quartz countertop in the open-concept kitchen area. Camilla blinked, surprised by the question. "Indeed they are. The designer selected exclusive materials to ensure both quality and aesthetic appeal." Margot acknowledged this with a nod but remained silent, continuing her inspection and analyzing every detail. The agent, however, appeared increasingly uncomfortable. Her heels echoed against the floor as she followed Margot, observing her closely. "You should be aware that this property is listed at $25 million. It represents quite a substantial investment," Camilla remarked. Margot raised an eyebrow questioningly. "And you believe I shouldn't be considering it?" Camilla laughed, a brief, artificial sound. "No, of course that's not my implication, but perhaps you might be more interested in something somewhat more accessible? I could suggest some residential options in the downtown district." The tone maintained politeness, but the underlying message was unmistakable. Margot, who had demonstrated patience until this moment, narrowed her eyes slightly. A subtle smile appeared on her lips, as though she possessed information unknown to others. "Interesting perspective, but I believe you're underestimating my position." Camilla began to respond but hesitated. Margot gave the residence one final assessment, and with a mysterious glint in her expression said calmly, "Actually, I have specific intentions for this property, but I don't believe this is the appropriate moment to disclose them." Camilla frowned, intrigued, but had no opportunity to pursue further inquiries. Margot was already proceeding toward the living area, leaving the bewildered agent behind. Margot continued examining the residence, disregarding the palpable tension. She navigated through corridors as though envisioning a future within these walls, as if every architectural element communicated a narrative only she could comprehend. Camilla, still maintaining her forced expression of pleasantness, attempted to regain control of the interaction. Her gaze repeatedly returned to Margot's simple attire, seemingly waiting for an acknowledgement that she was out of place. "You mentioned interest in the property?" Camilla inquired, crossing her arms as she positioned herself beside Margot in the living area. May I inquire about your specific requirements? Margot regarded her with a subtle smile. I'm seeking a residence with solid structural integrity, quality finishes, and most importantly, strong investment potential. The agent released a soft chuckle. Certainly, but this isn't merely any investment. Properties in this price category are acquired by individuals who truly comprehend the luxury real estate market's dynamics. Margot tilted her head slightly. And you presume I lack this understanding? Camilla hesitated, though her expression had already revealed her assessment. Well, this category of purchase necessitates a certain level of financial capacity. Margot crossed her arms, studying the woman before her. This wasn't her first experience with appearance-based judgment, and undoubtedly wouldn't be her last. But there was something particularly amusing about Camilla's manner of expression. She wasn't merely underestimating Margot, she genuinely believed herself in control of the situation. Noted. Now, please provide additional information about the residence. The agent concealed her surprise but nodded, attempting to maintain professional demeanor. Certainly. The property features 6 suites, each with private balcony access and walk-in closets. The main living area boasts double-height ceilings with direct access to the outdoor spaces, which include an infinity pool and panoramic Los Angeles views. The private cinema room incorporates state-of-the-art technology, and naturally, the entire residence features comprehensive home automation systems controlling lighting, climate, and security functions via mobile application. Margot listened attentively, though her expression remained unimpressed. What about the foundation construction? Camilla blinked, evidently confused. The foundation? Yes, considering this area's potential soil instability. I'd like information regarding construction reinforcement to prevent future structural complications. The agent compressed her lips. She clearly hadn't anticipated this line of questioning. I can certainly obtain that information, though our clientele typically focuses more on aesthetic and design elements. Margot displayed a slight smirk. Perhaps that's because many individuals purchase properties purely for status, rather than actual habitation purposes. Camilla's facial expression flickered momentarily, her confidence visibly diminishing. She frowned, attempting to reassess the person standing before her. May I inquire about your professional sector? Margot shrugged dismissively. Let's just say I recognize valuable investment opportunities when I encounter them. Silence lingered for several seconds. Camilla's discomfort was increasing, yet she continued refusing to take Margot seriously. If you prefer, I could present alternative options more aligned with your particular profile. Margot raised an eyebrow questioningly. My profile? The agent chuckled condescendingly. You do comprehend this property's valuation, correct? Margot maintained an unwavering gaze. And if I wish to present an offer? Camilla's eyes widened briefly before she quickly regained composure. She then released a short laugh. An offer? You mean a formal purchase proposal? Precisely. The agent crossed her arms and tilted her head. Well, before advancing to that stage, perhaps we should address financial considerations. Have you consulted with your banking institution regarding financing options, or? Margot smiled slowly. Who indicated I require financing? Camilla blinked repeatedly, processing this response. Her discomfort was now undeniable. Margot recognized her enjoyment of this situation but decided to maintain the air of mystery. I believe I'll need additional information before proceeding further, but thank you for the discussion, Camilla. She retrieved her phone from her pocket and began typing. Are you contacting your financial advisor? Camilla asked with a hint of sarcasm. Margot raised her gaze and smiled. Something along those lines. I'm expecting someone who can truly appreciate this property's value. The atmospheric tension was no longer merely noticeable, it had become suffocating. Margot continued exploring the residence, calmly analyzing details, while Camilla could no longer conceal her disdain. The real estate professional crossed her arms, sighing dramatically before speaking. "Look, Margot, I genuinely admire your confidence. But honestly, I fail to understand your purpose here." Margot turned slowly to face her. "What exactly do you mean?" "I understood my presence was to view the property. Isn't facilitating such viewings your professional responsibility?" Camilla emitted a brief, dry laugh. "Technically, yes. However, I prefer allocating my time to serious prospective buyers. Surely you understand, my time holds considerable value." Margot raised an eyebrow. "And what specifically leads you to conclude I'm not a serious buyer?" Camilla gestured toward her as though the answer was self-evident. "Do you genuinely want me to verbalize it?" Margot smirked coldly. "Yes, please be forthright." The agent sighed dramatically, shaking her head. "Very well, let's speak candidly. You arrive dressed as though returning from a discount supermarket, a hoodie, jeans, casual footwear. Nothing about your presentation suggests comprehension of the environment you've entered. You didn't arrive in a vehicle appropriate to this neighborhood. You have no assistant accompanying you. You aren't asking questions typical of high-end property buyers." She stepped closer, lowering her voice slightly but ensuring every word conveyed maximum condescension. "And most significantly, you lack the demeanor of someone financially capable of acquiring a property of this caliber. Wealthy individuals, Margot, possess a certain presence. They don't inquire about foundation construction. They don't sit quietly pretending mysterious intentions. They arrive and make immediate decisions. And you? You absolutely don't fit that profile." Silence extended between them. Margot remained unmoved. Instead, she chuckled, a light, ironic laugh. "Impressive assessment." Camilla tilted her head, appearing satisfied. "Well, at least we've established honest communication." Margot slowly shook her head, as though processing the agent's remarkable presumption. "You must excel in your professional capacity, Camilla. What fascinates me is that you don't merely judge individuals by appearance, you genuinely believe in the accuracy of your assessment. As though you possess complete knowledge about me simply because I'm not carrying designer accessories or emerging from a luxury vehicle." Camilla advanced another step, lowering her tone slightly. "It extends beyond mere appearance. It concerns what you project." Margot narrowed her eyes. "And what exactly do I project?" Camilla smirked. "Someone who doesn't belong in this environment." Margot maintained unwavering eye contact. "Have you considered the possibility of making a significant misjudgment?" Camilla released an exasperated sigh. "Listen, if you wish to continue this pretense, proceed as you wish. But frankly, I'm wasting valuable time." She turned to depart, but Margot crossed her arms and stated in a chilling tone, "If I were in your position, I'd remain a bit longer." Camilla halted mid-step. "And why would that be advisable?" The sound of a powerful engine interrupted their exchange. Camilla instinctively turned toward the glass entrance and observed a black Porsche 911 Turbo S smoothly arriving at the property. Her eyes widened in recognition. The vehicle door opened as a tall man emerged, dressed casually in a dark jacket, jeans, and sunglasses. His movements appeared effortless and relaxed, yet there was something magnetically compelling about his presence. Camilla didn't immediately identify him, but the moment he removed his eyewear, her heart skipped perceptibly. Leonardo DiCaprio. She froze momentarily. What explained his presence here? And more significantly, why was he approaching Margot directly? Leonardo smiled as he neared them. "I hope I haven't arrived late." Margot turned to him with a relaxed smile. "Actually, your timing is perfect." Camilla blinked repeatedly, struggling to process the scene unfolding before her. "Mr. DiCaprio," she immediately switched to an enthusiastic, polished tone. What an extraordinary surprise. I had no indication you were interested in this particular property. Leonardo casually surveyed the surroundings. Oh, I'm not. He glanced toward Margot. But she is. Camilla felt as though the ground had disappeared beneath her. Her complexion paled dramatically as reality registered with tremendous force. Margot had been observing every reaction from the agent, savoring the moment. You know, Camilla, your assessment was accurate in one respect. Some individuals truly don't belong in this particular world. She paused deliberately, then added with a sharp smile. But I'm not the one who doesn't belong here. Camilla swallowed with difficulty, feeling the weight of her miscalculation crushing down upon her. Leonardo glanced between the two women, sensing unspoken tensions. I believe Margot wishes to hear additional information about the residence. Shall we continue the tour? Camilla required several seconds to regain composure. Her thoughts were chaotic, but professional instincts demanded she reclaim control. Forcing a smile, she nodded. Of course, certainly, please make yourselves comfortable. Margot gave her a final measured glance before crossing her arms and delivering the concluding statement. Now that you recognize me as a serious buyer, perhaps you could repeat all that information you provided earlier? Camilla swallowed her pride. She had committed a monumental error of judgment, and now faced the consequences. Camilla had always prided herself on maintaining control during business interactions. Yet standing before Leonardo DiCaprio, realizing she had just humiliated a legitimate prospective buyer, she experienced an unfamiliar sensation. Panic. Margot, conversely, maintained perfect composure. Arms crossed, a faint knowing smirk playing at her lips. Leonardo glanced between them, perceiving the atmospheric tension. So Margot, what's your impression of the property thus far? Camilla immediately reverted to professional mode, clearing her throat. Oh, Mr. DiCaprio, this estate truly represents one of Los Angeles's finest residential offerings. It features. Leonardo raised his hand, interrupting her mid-sentence. I was addressing Margot. Camilla's jaw tightened visibly. Margot turned, slowly walking to the room's center. She surveyed the surroundings, apparently considering her response carefully. The layout demonstrates impressive design, and the craftsmanship exhibits high quality. However, certain elements concern me. Leonardo nodded, giving her his complete attention. Such as? Margot turned toward Camilla, her gaze penetrating. Initially, I expressed curiosity regarding structural integrity, considering this area experiences occasional seismic activity. I inquired about foundation construction earlier. Unfortunately, my question was dismissed as irrelevant. Camilla felt heat rising to her face. I can certainly provide that information. It's simply that most buyers don't. Most buyers don't inquire about safety considerations in a $25 million property. Margot interrupted, tilting her head questioningly. Camilla swallowed nervously. I merely meant that luxury residential purchasers typically prioritize design elements and prestige over structural concerns. Leonardo raised an eyebrow. That seems surprising. I would expect anyone investing such substantial funds would be concerned about their property's earthquake resistance capabilities. Margot smirked. Precisely my thoughts. Camilla felt her professional confidence evaporating, and for the first time in years, couldn't determine how to regain situational control. She had been so eager to dismiss Margot that she had completely misjudged her position. Attempting recovery, she quickly changed tactical approach. Certainly, Margot, if these represent concerns, I'd be pleased to arrange professional inspection or provide documentation regarding structural integrity. Now that you recognize my serious intentions? Margot asked, arching an eyebrow. Camilla visibly flinched. Leonardo chuckled, reducing the tension just enough to make Camilla feel increasingly foolish. You know, Margot demonstrates exceptional insight regarding real estate. She's extraordinarily detail-oriented. Camilla hesitated momentarily. Oh, you two work together professionally? Margot exchanged a glance with Leonardo before responding. Let's just say I don't make decisions impulsively, and when I do, I prefer collaborating with individuals who respect my judgment. The pointed nature of those words was unmistakable. Camilla had lost not only a client but potentially much more. Nevertheless, she wasn't prepared to concede entirely. Margot, if I misjudged you, please accept my sincere apologies. Occasionally in this profession, we form assumptions based on experience, but clearly I should have approached our conversation differently. Margot allowed silence to persist, increasing Camilla's discomfort. Finally, she responded. Apology acknowledged, but trust isn't reconstructed through mere words, Camilla. It must be earned. Camilla's stomach twisted uncomfortably. Leonardo smiled, sensing the lesson had been effectively communicated. Shall we continue the property tour? I'm eager to hear more of Margot's perspectives regarding this residence. Camilla forced a nod, leading them into the next room, but she recognized she had irretrievably lost the professional advantage, while Margot had only begun asserting herself. Camilla led the way through the residence, her customary confidence severely undermined. She had invested years perfecting client assessment techniques, but today she had committed a costly error. Margot wasn't merely another visitor, she represented a powerful potential buyer. Margot and Leonardo followed at a measured pace, absorbing every detail. The room's energy had transformed dramatically. Camilla no longer controlled the situation. She cleared her throat, forcing a smile. As you can observe, this open-concept kitchen features imported Italian marble, custom cabinetry, and premium appliances. Margot traced her fingers along the countertop surface. Italian marble? Interesting selection. How effectively does it resist staining? Camilla hesitated briefly. Well, marble represents elegance, though it does require careful maintenance. Margot smirked knowingly. So it stains readily. Camilla forced a laugh. Some clients prioritize aesthetic appeal over practical considerations. Margot turned toward Leonardo. What's your assessment? Wouldn't quartzite have represented a superior option? Equally attractive but significantly more durable? Leonardo nodded in agreement. I would select quartzite, reduced maintenance requirements, equally sophisticated appearance. Margot returned her attention to Camilla. Curious that a multi-million-dollar residence would incorporate materials lacking practicality. Almost suggesting design intended for individuals concerned exclusively with appearances. Camilla's expression tightened. We select materials based on market demands. The market? Margot chuckled softly. Yet you presumed I didn't belong here based on my clothing choices. Perhaps the market isn't as predictable as your assessment suggests. Camilla swallowed with difficulty. Let's proceed to the master suite. She guided them up the sleek staircase to an expansive bedroom. This suite includes a private terrace, dual walk-in closets, and a spa-inspired bathroom offering sunset views. Margot stepped onto the terrace, gazing at the breathtaking cityscape. Leonardo joined her position. That's quite an impressive view. Margot nodded. Indeed, but spectacular views don't establish trust. Camilla tensed visibly. What specifically do you mean? Margot turned toward her. This residence demonstrates beautiful design, but I'm not merely purchasing a physical structure. I'm investing in an experience, the people involved, the process itself. And following today's interaction, I question whether I trust you to manage that relationship appropriately. Camilla's stomach twisted uncomfortably. Margot, Margot raised her hand, silencing further explanation. No justifications necessary. You judged me before establishing any understanding. Now, because of Leonardo's presence, you're desperately attempting to rectify your mistake. That doesn't represent professionalism, it demonstrates opportunism. Camilla inhaled deeply. You're absolutely correct. I misjudged you, and I deeply regret that action. Margot studied her momentarily. Regret holds minimal significance. What matters is whether genuine learning results from this experience. Camilla nodded solemnly. Leonardo smiled, slightly reducing the tension. What's our next step? Margot returned her attention to the residence, her expression unreadable. Now we discuss financial terms. What happened next? Camilla remained motionless, the gravity of Margot's statement weighing heavily upon her. Throughout years in luxury real estate, navigating high-value transactions with affluent clientele, never before had she felt so diminished before a potential buyer. Margot had effectively dismantled her professional facade, exposing underlying bias and arrogance. Camilla now had no alternative but to confront this reality. She cleared her throat, struggling to regain professional composure. Margot, I recognize my misjudgment of your position, and I sincerely regret that error. However, I don't merely wish to apologize, I want to demonstrate meaningful correction. Margot arched an eyebrow questioningly. And precisely how do you propose accomplishing that? Camilla paused momentarily. By managing this transaction as I should have from our initial interaction. No assumptions, no prejudgments, purely professional conduct. Margot evaluated her for an extended moment, then sighed audibly. Very well, let's determine whether your words reflect genuine intent. She glanced toward Leonardo, then returned her attention to Camilla. I'm prepared to present an offer. $30 million. Camilla blinked in surprise. That exceeds the asking price. Margot's gaze intensified. Camilla swallowed nervously. Yes, not because of your identity but because I genuinely respect your position. For the first time, Margot's expression softened perceptibly. Very well, Camilla, let's determine whether you're demonstrating sincerity. I'll maintain communication regarding next steps. Camilla's expression brightened noticeably. Leonardo nudged Margot gently. Appears you've potentially established a business relationship. Margot laughed lightly. Perhaps, but first let's celebrate this moment. With those words, she and Leonardo proceeded outside, where the sun descended over the cityscape. This represented merely the beginning of developments. The transaction was concluded, but the genuine event remained forthcoming. Margot's housewarming celebration would transform everything completely, though precisely how remained to be revealed. If you enjoyed this narrative, we offer numerous additional accounts that will resonate emotionally. Explore our collection to discover more stories highlighting hope, compassion, and personal resilience. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoy this video, and learned a lesson. I would be grateful for your likes, also don't forget to subscribe and comment on the video. See you soon.